So how this payment will be enough for the refugee if I take, like, for me 71 kron, how I will be have three food like breakfast, lunch, dinner, internet and transportation, clothes, medicine, everything. So it's very less. And even that, the refugee, they keep taking this number as much as they are not taking the visa. So they are in the camp to camp to camp, so same amount for this. And even if he get the visa, like me, stay in the camp, so take same amount. So he will not get more amount for study till he transfer. So he will keep taking this amount, which not even enough for the simple needs for the refugee. And for after the refugee, he take the visa and they give him house, or even if he find house, the government, they give him loan 15,000 for buying furniture. 15,000 to buy furniture. If you take it as a loan from the bank, it will come 20, 25, as much as you divide it for the years. So other country like Germany, they give 1,500 euro as a gift for the refugee when they take home to take furniture. As a Belgica, they take 1,000 euro. As the another like Norway, also they take it. So this actually, it should be like something free for the refugee to can start his life with a new house and bring some furniture for himself, not to put something heavy on his back and carry in his shoulder big amount of payment every month for the bank to pay loan. So this is actually the big problem we face it now. And for second point, regarding the practice for the refugee, before the refugee, they can make any practice, take practice, like to can communicate with the people, learn the language, have a friendship, and try to be one of the Swedish society. But in 2015, end of 2015, they have one decision that not allowed to the refugee to make practice till he have visa. So this loan, this rule start from 1 of January 2016. And when I bring practice, they refuse immigration. They say not allowed to you to do practice. You can go and have job, but not practice. I tell them who will handle me or who will take me to do work without any experience inside Sweden, without language, and he need at least 2 to 3 months to make practice for me. So it's not allowed. So they freezing the refugee 2 years till he have the visa, till he can do practice and be one of the Swedish society. And for the third problem, actually, this we face it now too much, and we need solution. That not allowed to the refugee to go to SFE and have academic student. So what it happened, the refugees stay in the camp, transfer from camp to camp, no language, no communication with the people, and even the camp, it will be far from the area who have Swedish people, at least can he communicate with them. So not allowed to him to study or go to school, and all what they can do, they tell him go 1 day in the week to drink coffee with group for 1 hour. This is not enough for anything and not make us do anything. So what this problem do, they freeze the refugee more than 2 years, not learning the language and not have work and not be one of the Swedish society, and not he have many power, the refugee, and he have energy, and he already education. So why this country not like carry this all budget and have this refugee to can use his power, his education, his body power. Now this problem, its effect on his mental health and on his physical health, because he feel like he's nothing in the Swedish society. He cannot be one of the Swedish society. He cannot communicate with them because no language. He cannot work with them, not allowed to practice. He's like freezing 2 years. Now what is happen if he get the visa? They will send him in that moment to go to SFE. SFE minimum he need 1.5 years or 2 years to have the language because no work will accept him without Swedish language. If Swedish people, they allowed to him to go to school, they will save these 2 years he's sitting in the camp, not doing anything, just thinking by his problem, have more problem in his body and his health. And see, if he the salary not enough for immigration, at least he will search for job. The job, they need language. Then he will search for practice. Maybe in this practice, if they like him, they will handle him, they will make contract for him, so he will have better life. He can grow up. But now, 2 years before, 2 years to study, 4 years, Sweden killed it in this refugee. 4 years, they frozen that refugee, not taking anything from him, not let him do anything. And even he will feel after 4 years, he like, I lost 4 years from my life, just have many sickness, live as a poor people, not have my minimum needs. So it's actually this problem, it's communicate together, but it's basic, it's need these 3 points. The amount or the daily payment for the refugee, its effect on him. The language, its effect on him. The stock practice for him, it's all effect to him. So like that, you froze the refugee, and actually that it will be prevent the development of Sweden, and also it's increased the poverty and unemployment.
So a lot of questions, and we were discussing a bit of the last one. We started from the back, and we were discussing the possibility for any kind of education or practitioners or learning the Swedish language, for example. And I said, we're going not the way you wanted. Actually, it goes on the opposite side. Because what I can see is that if you change the view, it's the municipalities who actually take the cost for everything we're talking about here mostly before you get your visa. Which is the problem here is that, for example, the municipality maybe doesn't seem, if they don't know if you will stay or not, then they ask, why will we pay for an education? If you're not going to stay, why will you pay for the language? I'm just saying how, I'm guessing how it will be, because it wasn't that many years ago we changed for temporary visas. If you get a temporary, okay, that means you're temporarily here. And then the question is, okay, what do? Do you put effort and energy in people to actually learn? Or is it just a temporary being of Sweden and then going back? And I think that is a big discussion in Sweden nowadays, because like you say, we have the one decision that people staying 2 years without doing anything, which is a waste of opportunity, waste of knowledge, waste of the person. You feel, yeah, I'm guessing you're coming here with some hope, and then you see that nothing happens. Of course, your ambitions will also come to disappear. You will lose hope, and that is tragic. So I do agree with you that it's important to, in an early stage, getting into the Swedish language. I mean, like you're saying, without the language, it's very hard in Sweden. You need to know the Swedish language, mostly, and that's why you should be having it in a very early stage. As well as interesting that you were saying that you don't get an educational practice, but you can work. It's a waste of 4 years. I'm agreeing with you. But in the meanwhile, like I'm saying, at the politicians going in the directions now, I don't see any solutions to it, because the more people going on temporary visas, the less I'm expecting the municipalities will take, considering they don't know if you will stay or not. But it's a waste of opportunity for the ones who's actually here, and a lot of those will stay. And then 4 years are wasted, not only 4 years, but also maybe the motivation and the interest from the individuals. So it's very important to find a way, at least to, basically, if you want to learn the language, why not let them learn the language? That's the number one step, I would say. So why not start from the beginning? First day, second day, start learn language. And I mean, the cost isn't that high. I mean, you don't have any personal tutor, you have in the group sessions, maybe a couple of days a week. So that is, I would say that is a minimum what I expect that you could get. But considering the other questions regarding the economy, for example, I would say the amount you are talking about, in my perspective, it will just count for food. If I see the numbers you were talking about, it would cover the food. But to buy clothes, that is, for me,
How come?
yeah, I mean, it's almost impossible. But I also think that this is mainly to be in a short period of time. That is the purpose of it. But as you're saying, the longer process takes for handling the visas, the longer time the short term will be, which means that it's not that short anymore. But I think that's the reason, that it's a short-term solution, but it's not working long way, and that amount will not cover it to buy a winter jacket when it's getting cold outside.